How are you bridging that gap in your practice with patients that are, I know this in our practice, very much so still in that kind of conventional old way of looking at things? Yes, they may have been exposed to meditation and Joe Dispenza, but when you start to apply, let's say, light therapies and energy medicine, that again, or even emotional things, they say, hey, just give me the IV and let's be done with this because I don't want to address my emotional trauma.
It's a great question. And, we have to meet people where they're at, right? We absolutely have to meet people where they're at. But, if they show up in your doorstep and you have all of these offerings and all this knowledge, there's a part of them that's attracted to having that experience. And it's, sometimes dripping that out. Some of my patients, I can go right there. They're ready. They understand this. They're, already in this language. And some, it might take, a year before they're open to it. And that's okay. And I'm totally open to being on that, that timeline with them. We're at I think, a unique tipping point for energy medicine too, because we are surrounded by all of this technology, right? With Wi-Fi and cell phones that I think people have, at least in their mental model, there are these invisible fields of information and energy that they might not quite understand, but we're interacting with. They know Wi-Fi, they know the cell phone tower, there's that connection. So I think even though that obviously has cost benefit to our physical bodies, and of course our energetic bodies, that I think is opening up the language for, this time. And so I like to use different terminology, and I have a mentor and a friend, Dr. Beverly Rubik, and she is a biophysicist in UC Berkeley. And I love that she was very influential in using this term biofield, because it's not aura, it's not chakra, it's not, it sounds scientific, and, it is, right? And so she was influential in putting this term biofield in PubMed in the 1990s. So it can be researched and studied. And there's a lot of research if you go into PubMed and put in biofield. And, their description has evolved about the biofield, but the biofield is this field of information and energy that surrounds the body. And I always start bridging that gap for the conventional language and the, alternative language with knowing that we have, the capacity in the conventional world to measure our electromagnetic nature, right? So we very much know that our heart has a strong electromagnetic field. It is the strongest electromagnetic field in the body. And I think as you learn about energy medicine, you cannot ignore the heart, right? And the heart, it's beautiful, right? When you get really, it's complicated, but very simple, that we're wired to be in these states of love and gratitude and appreciation. And when we are, our physiology follows, and we are inherently more healthy and more regulated and, more connected. And so, the heart is, definitely we can measure through the electromagnetic nature of EKGs and things, brain waves, obviously. So there's this, conventional understanding. And then, sometimes breaking it down, there are just principles in physics, right? Whenever you have electricity, you have magnetism. And when you have magnetism, you have electricity. And we have electrolytes, and we have these, electrical charges in the body. And that's biochemistry too, right? So, take a leap, and then you can know that we have this movement of charge in the body. So we, by inherent nature of the movement of electrical charge, we have electromagnetic fields. And so, once you just kind of break it down in simple terms, I think people can understand this electrical nature of the body.